What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the workshop. I hope you're all keeping well. Now, in this video, I'm doing some major workshop upgrades. So I have a lot of remodeling to do. I have a lot of rubbish that I've cleaned out. And I've built a new sharpening tool station, workbench area for all my grinders and sharpening, French cleat wall over this side of the workshop. Got rid of a whole pile of stuff. And basically that's what this video is going to be about, some workshop upgrades, workshop remodeling and building a new workstation. Now this video was filmed over about 5 days, so hopefully it's not too disjointed. I'll just show you everything that I'm doing in the workshop without going into it in too much detail, hopefully to give you guys some idea and just let you know what I'm at in this workshop. So yeah, most everything I've built is made from upcycling some old stuff that I already had in the workshop, so I've gained a whole pile of space now and a whole new work area. So without further ado, let's crack on and do some workshop remodeling. Okay, one of the first things I need to do is this timber storage rack has to go. I no longer have the space for it in the workshop. It's one of my earliest builds that I've done on my channel. It's great for what it is, but because I have my bike and my weights in the workshop now, I no longer have room for this. So all this has to go. So I've got to strip this down and try and make something new out of it. I have my old workbench worktop right here. I'm going to be reusing that. So that's the very first thing I'm going to do, is going to build a new workbench, and I'll show you guys that as well. Okay, next thing I need to do is sort out this area over here. So this cabinet is going, all this is going to be gone, and I'm going to put French cleats along here and along here, and hopefully I'll have enough plywood left out of my timber storage rack to build all this with the French cleats and everything else I need. So I'm trying to salvage everything I can in this workshop. Now, I've already built one over here which I covered in a previous video, so I won't cover building French cleats. I'll just show you all the different things that I'm going to build for it when it's done. But yeah, so if you're not seeing that video first, I reckon you guys should check that one out. But first off, let's get building this new worktop. Okay, so this is where I'm going to build the new workbench, right at the end of my miter storage rack. So I have my weights and my motorbike in the workshop now, and these are non-negotiable. For my mental health and my physical health, I need these things in here, and I've nowhere else to put them around my house. This is my workshop down the end of my back garden, so these stuff have to stay there. But I want to try and gain some space, so I'm going to build the workbench out to here. I'm going to put a back on it, and then it's going to be my sanding station and possibly my sharpening station as well, using my old workbench top. So I should be able to build something out of here, a nice back on it. That'll kind of separate this area from the workshop a little bit without losing any space up high and stuff, and gaining some space out here and possibly some storage space as well. That's the plan. Let's get doing it. Okay, first thing to do is start cleaning this place out, and I am such a hoarder when it comes to timber. I keep everything. I always think to myself, oh, that'll be useful, and then it's there 3 years, 4 years later, I still haven't used it and I still won't throw it out. But I think we're all kind of like that. Okay, now I'm just going to try and dig out this worktop, and I've loads of ash rings and stuff here, holly and every kind of thing I seem to be keeping. Some of this is probably really only firewood, but like I say, I'm a bit of a hoarder. Okay, there we go. Oi. Okay, here's the plan. So I have my old worktop from my old workbench, and I can kind of make this L shape here. And it fits perfectly between the end of my miter saw station and where my weights start. So I think if I build this up, making a frame exactly like I did with my miter saw station, and put a splash back on it, or a raised back area that comes above the workbench, wraps around, this would be perfect for putting my vices on, my sharpening station. All that stuff can go here. And yeah, it's not going to affect my miter saw bench in any way, and I can walk in and around it, and it's only going to come up to about this height, so I'm not losing any space up here. I can still lift things over it and that kind of thing. So that's the plan. So without further ado, let's crack on and make this frame. Now I'm going to take off this 4x2 end piece, or 2x4, 4x2 end piece off the end of it, and I'm going to butt it right to the end of this workbench. So I just need to cut that miter right there. So then we can start taking some measurements. Let's do it. Right, so the frame of this workbench, like I said already, 4x2s, and I'm going to make it exactly the same as the miter saw bench and my workbench. So it's that L-shaped legs with the internal frame inside in it. It's nice, quick, simple, very, very strong, and it's a great way to make a workbench or shelves or anything. You guys will have seen me do it a lot of times on this channel. So I have my measurements, I know exactly what height these need to be, so I'm going to start chopping them up now, and we can start building out this frame. Okay, that's all the legs cut. I'm just going to build it on top of the bench so I don't have to use any measurements, because I want to keep the legs and the frame exactly the width of my bench and length of my bench, so the frame is kind of flush with the bench all the way around. So to set the legs up on it, I can build off the frame just like that. I know these are all the exact same height, so I'll get my top stretchers in first, and then we'll drop it off the frame, level everything up. Right, the frame is all finished, everything is in place. I've had to put a few packers under this because this top was actually twisted. It moved and twisted all over the place, so I have a couple of packers here and there just to kind of keep it as level as possible. So like I said, the frame is all in. I'm going to shelve this out. I haven't decided on the layout of it yet, but hopefully I'm going to get a bit of storage underneath here now as well. I'm going to put a backing piece on this. It's going to be OSB, so I'm going to take that around to here. I'm going to leave this side open both sides. This is going to be my sharpening station, so I want to be able to work both sides of this. And then underneath here, I might put in a series of drawers for all the sharpening equipment, all the jigs and stuff can go in there. And that can be my new sharpening station. So yeah, it's kind of like a bar in the workshop. I wonder if I could install a button and have this flip into a bar. We might see if we can do that. Serve a few pints and a few whiskies in here. But yeah, that's a good use of an old worktop with a few 4x2s. And like I said, I have a full video on building a frame like this if you guys are interested in building this entire miter station. So that's why I didn't cover putting it together. So frame is together now. Let's get it sheeted up, a backsplash on this, and we can look at the next job. Okay, I'm going to be using some 12mm or 1/2 inch OSB because it is an inexpensive option and it's perfect for making workshop furniture. You could go with something like birch ply, but it's extremely expensive. And like I said, this is only going to be a backsplash. So that's going to slot in there just like that. Lovely. So I'll rip that down to fit there. I have about an 8-inch backsplash then, just to stop stuff rolling off the back of it into here. So I mark that up and we'll rip that with the track saw. Okay, there we go. We have the OSB sheets on all the way around. So you can see it's just a little backsplash kind of here just to stop stuff rolling off, and it separates my workshop kind of from the weights area. This is where I'm going to put like my engineer voices, sanding stations, bench grinders, all that kind of stuff is going to sit on that. It's good and solid, and it'll take a good whack, and it's nice and heavy to use with the voices. Right here, like I said, this will be my sharpening station. I can work on this from both sides, so I stop the OSB here. I've gained a nice bit of storage underneath, so I've just shelved out the bottom. I haven't decided what I'm doing here yet. It could become my timber storage area. Right here underneath the sharpening station, like I said, I'm going to shelve or drawer this out and put in all my sharpening jigs and sharpening tools. They'll all live here now, so that's where they're going to get stored. That will be a later date. So yeah, that's it, kind of more or less done for now. I have to kind of put all my timber in here, I think, just roughly for now, so I can get this storage cart taken apart. So yeah, that's it. That's the new kind of workbench area there now, separated from my weights and where my bike is. Okay, my next task is to do something with all of this. So I've got to empty this timber storage rack, I've got to disassemble it, and I've got to salvage all the plywood to make the French cleat tool wall and tool holders that are all going down that end of the shop. I won't bore you guys with this. I'm just going to get this all cleaned out, disassembled, and then we start working on the French cleat wall. So yeah, I have a few hours work ahead of me, so I'm going to crack on, and then you guys will see me when this is all done. Did you ever start a job and then wish you hadn't? That's kind of where I'm at now. The workshop is absolute chaos, and I mean chaos. There's just stuff everywhere. But I've emptied the timber storage rack now. I'll show you where I'm putting most of the stuff, and I still have lots of stuff to try and hide. I don't know where I'm going to put it all. We'll figure something out, but it's going to take this apart next. Okay, very quickly, here's what I've done. So I've got some storage bins, and I've emptied out the timber storage cart, and I've put all these offcuts in boxes. Now I've kept loads of bits. Some of these are the size of Lego blocks. I don't know am I doing the right thing keeping them or not, but I really hate to throw out hardwood. So that's walnut, a box of maple, a box of sapele, a box of oak, and in this box then that's all birch ply mostly, which I use for jig making and stuff. So it's all cuts of birch ply which I don't want to throw out. So that's going to be my jig making box. Any piece of material that's handy for, you know, whipping a jig together quickly, then it's going to go in there. And that's the rest of the hardwood that I had in the shop. Now I have loads of long pieces as well that I have to get rid of, so I have to come up with something like that as well. But you know, that's where it's disappearing into at the minute. Okay guys, the timber storage rack is now no more. And I've gathered up all the timber, so that's fully disassembled now, and I'm going to use the plywood for that I've salvaged from that to build my French cleat tool wall, which I'm going to do now. So I'm getting there. The workshop is starting to take shape again. I'm past that point when you do a job like this where you feel like you're making everything worse and nothing seems to be getting better. Things are on the downhill slope now, so we're starting to get better. So yeah, I've stacked all that timber there. I'll show you over this side. Still a bit to do. Now, as you can see, I've cleared out this section of the workshop as well. So the old cabinet with all my whiskey bottles in it is now gone. My old power tool storage rack, that's now gone. That is no more. So French cleats here and French cleats here, and then a whole pile of tools up here. Now, I've salvaged some plywood, like I said. I'm going to start cutting this up and making some French cleats. I won't cover how to make French cleats in this video because I've done that in the last video. So go back and watch that and you'll see how I made the power wall and all that kind of stuff over there. So you guys can just watch me do this. I'm going to crack on and yeah, let's get going. Oh, this is day 3, by the way, and things are starting to get better. Okay guys, there we go. One French cleat tool wall now installed, salvaged from my old timber storage rack. So I think what I'm going to do now is put my power tool charging station that I built in the last video. I think that's going to sit somewhere there. It's going to be the best place for that. Here we go, another massive improvement to the workshop. So now I have French cleat wall, loads of storage on this side, French cleat wall, loads of storage on this side, with the power tool storage rack and charger station all there, with all the cable management and stuff where you can't see any of the cables for the chargers. So that's looking quite good. So I'm going to put a bunch of tools up on this wall now. I'm going to crack on and make that. When that's all done, I'll give you guys a look. I'm on the home stretch now. So I'm going to set up the sharpening station and all that fun stuff over there. But I still have all that mess to clean up now as well. So I have a good few hours work ahead of me yet. But yeah, we're getting there. Okay Okay guys, I'm just about done on everything that I need to do for now. So the last little finish touch I'm just going to add to this is I'm going to use some of the red oak flooring that I salvaged. I've cut that up into strips and I'm just going to edge band the top of this just to make it a little bit nicer, so it'll take an impact and you don't have those rough OSB edges. So nothing fancy again. It's just to put a little bit of red oak, a little detail on the top of this. So I'm just going to glue it on and a few brad nails to hold it in place. And then we are almost done. Okay guys, there we go. The new workbench is in place, the new sharpening station, and the little bit of red oak banding just adds a nice little detail, just finishes it off. So this is it. This is what it's going to look like, more or less. I might do some chopping and change, and I might add some drawers here. I still have to add some electrical stuff here, so I run some sockets around, get some power into this. But it's more or less finished other than that. Now I know it's not pretty, but it wasn't expensive. I spent about 80 euros on materials in total for everything you've seen me do in the workshop in this video. One sheet of birch ply, I think, is around 120 euros now. So recycling old furniture, or recycling old shop furniture, and just using some 4x2s or 2x4s and some OSB sheets is a nice way to make yourself some stuff for the workshop. And like I said, it's only workshop furniture at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be functional. So that's it. This is where my kind of engineering section will be. I have my bench grinders and stuff to go here, engineer and vice, all my sharpening stuff, all my jigs for the Tormek will sit here. And the idea being that I can work on the Tormek now from both sides. So that's why I didn't build the splashback all the way out. It separates my kind of work area from my weights area. So yeah, there we go. A major update in the workshop. Right guys, there we go. That is it for this video. So that's a major step forward now in getting this workshop to the way I want it, getting it functioning right again. I still have a lot of work to do in here, so there'll be more upcoming videos, especially with my rebuilding a workbench, and I've lots of stuff to add to the French cleat wall. So I have a new sharpening station now. All my sharpening stuff will happen there. French cleats either side, so I can fill out those tool walls with some tools. I have a lot of rubbish gone out of this workshop, and I have a lot more to get out of here to make a little bit more space. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. I'm really happy with the French cleat walls. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it's not too disjointed. This was filmed over about 5 days, and I was kind of rushing in between work trying to get this done. So it was a lot of late nights. So hopefully the video was some way enjoyable. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Hopefully it gives you some ideas and some maybe inspiration for your workshop. And that's what the whole point of this channel is, after all. So that's it guys, I'm going to get out of here now. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, think about subscribing. Leave a comment, guys, that really helps me out a lot. That helps the algorithm share the video if you guys are interacting with it. So yeah, that's it. Until the next video guys, I've got a lot more work and a lot more projects coming up in this workshop. So take care, mind yourselves, I'll see you in the next one.